I took to the streets of Wellington this afternoon and I asked this question. What sort of price would you pay for an average 3-bedroom house? What do you reckon is a good price to pay?
600.
600,000.
250 to 300,000.
Maybe 100,000.
If it had a spa pool in there, maybe a bit more.
I'm from Auckland, so a lot.
It all depends on the area, so...
It's location, isn't it?
Depending on the area, if it was in a semi-standard area, probably around, 600,000?
600 grand?
There's an equation with the average income that it should equate to, but it's way, way more than it should be.
That's what Labor want to do. They're putting it about 500 to 600, so that's kind of realistic.
Okay, yeah. I think that would be a good thing.
Still a lot of money, though, to save up.
It's still a huge amount of money.
This is how it is right now. I mean, it's better than $1 million.
Could you afford a $500,000 home?
God, no. Of course not. Are you kidding me? It's insane. I'm not sure how anybody expects me to, buy a house these days.
And that is true, and that is the common refrain that we heard time and time again. It's one of the big issues alongside climate change. What I want to find out, what I want to know is who's got the best housing policy? Is it National or is it Labor? Let's
Yay!
What about you? How are you going to do it? 100,000 homes?
We're going to build houses.
Yeah, well,
we're not going to leave it up to the market.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we're going to be really proactive. What National's tried to do is reform the RMA, which is they haven't been able to do, and leave it to the market to provide. Well, we say you can't leave it to the market to provide. We have to provide. We have to build
who's going to build
the houses.
You're going to get a construction company to build your houses for you.
Yeah, that's right, but we're going to put up the money, so we're going to build the houses ourselves. That's right, 10,000 a year.
Who's going to do your building?
And 1,000 state houses.
Who's going to do your building?
Well, there are builders.
Private sector companies in the market.
4,000 young people that we are going to train.
Well, we're going to use the market.
So Lewis,
no, we're not. We're going to use companies.
Lewis,
we're going to use
companies in the market.
With the companies that will build the houses.
You've got to buy the land, get the consents, build the infrastructure, design, build and sell homes. Can I suggest to you that maybe 100,000 over 10 years is a pipe dream?
Of course it's a dream, because it's our dream for every single New Zealander who wants to own a house to actually get one. And the biggest problem that we have is that they're not available.
Chris,
there's huge undersupply.
You've heard that. It's a dream. It is achievable. There's a builder on the TV that's the other night said 27 houses a day is actually quite feasible, mate. It can be done. So you guys are not doing enough.
You're not building
There is actually a fair degree of consensus actually across the parliament on what we need to do. We need to free up land supply. We do need to build more houses, right? So we agree.
Are you going to build them?
And across the term of this parliament, the 85,000 new houses will be built in New Zealand. We need to free up land. We need to make it easier to get a building consent. We need to make it easier to get a resource consent. All that is happening, and the government needs to do its bit too. We are increasing the amount of social housing places and the number of state houses.
How many are you going to sell?
Make it easier to build houses.
You're going to sell 8,000
state houses.
I think this is symptomatic of what you're seeing at the moment.
Well, who's got the best policy?
You're seeing an argument. Well, I was
going to say neither.
No, that's right, because you're both dealing with bits of the problem. It's all very well building 100,000 houses, but who's going to finance young couples into them? The banks still have very tight lending policies, so it's all very well to do that. One thing we would do is allow people to capitalise working for families payments, for instance, as a step towards that.
Well, here's the deal.
But here's the thing. Unless you get, and I am going to talk about a summit, because unless you get the central and regional government, the Reserve Bank, which has a different view about housing altogether, the trading banks, the building companies, and the social housing providers all together agreeing on how you're going to tackle the problem, you're going to continue to see the argument and no progress being made.
That's the only way, isn't it, Jan, or something? Because I can't get to grips with either or. You've got Labor going 500 to 600 grand. You know what? People still can't afford that.
Yeah.
We've
got to address...
33% of Auckland buyers can afford a $600,000 house. 33%.
Yeah. So clearly we need to address that. And I think part of the theory is, and for me the game changer with Labor is their policy is that they're saying a government has to step in. Government has the power to build, and that by building these houses we can change the entire market. And I think that is a game changer, and I am really hopeful that this sends the signal that when the government changes next year, we will be ready to hit the road running to fix this problem.
You're still going to have the banks, though, willing to release the finance to allow young families to buy the homes. Otherwise, you're building white elephants.
And
you haven't got that happening.
And it's about an active government.
Peter's right, but you cannot introduce affordable housing into New Zealand until you sort out land supply. The biggest component of new housing costs is the extortionate prices of land.
In that case,
That's when we're building single-unit houses as well.
No, Chris, in that case,
in
that case, do we need to build up, focus on bigger density? You go to a place like Manhattan, someone was saying, hey, he's just come back from New York. Yeah. Everyone there is happy about density. Why aren't we?
You've got to do both. We need more apartments, and we also need to do what we're doing with special housing areas and build out as well. It's the only answer.
Public transport makes people's houses
you've got to
really...
So we've just, as a government, put up $1 billion so that councils can borrow off that to build
vulnerable to mortgagee sales. The research
I want
is
to go to
clear on
Hayley.
that.
A couple of audience members. What's the answer? What's there? Oh, you're doing a cake.
Not anymore.
Oh, not anymore.
Not anymore. Okay, I am. Actually, sorry, Wallace.
Oh, we just saw it because
I just wanted to lighten the mood a little bit, actually, and just wish Labor happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Labor. Happy birthday to you. Hey, good on you. Thank you, Hayley.
I just made my wish.
What's that?
We're going to be the government. Labor and the Greens.
And Winston.
And Winnie.
And
of course. And
maybe,
Peter.
Maybe.
All
and
right.
the Party.
Okay, 100 years on, happy birthday. Just briefly, will Labor be here another 100 years?
Absolutely, we will.
Chris, do you think so?
I hope so.
Do you?
Yeah, I do, because the Labor Party actually has a venerable tradition in New Zealand politics. They've done a lot of good things over the years, not least of which is reforming the sclerotic New Zealand economy of the 1980s, and they've got an important role to play in terms of social liberalism, so I hope they're here.
All right, what about...
I hope they get back to their roots of economic reform rather than what they do now.
As part of a former Labor Party MP...
look, I think there's a future role for the Labor Party. I think that they've got to sort out what it is they stand for, and it's not just in New Zealand. You're seeing it in Britain at the moment too, with the whole Jeremy Corbyn business. I think that the days of cloth-cap socialism are long beyond us, and what we need to do is see the Labor Party, both here and elsewhere, work out a modern role for itself. But I wouldn't write them off. I mean, they've been down before. They'll come back in the future. It may not be immediately, but they will come back.
Very, very sensible.
I was a Labor Party member for 22 years and an MP for over 10, yes. And I'm quite proud of that time, but times move on.
There you go. Look, hey...